All right, that last one was a little bit long. I will try to do a bit better this time. I am going to talk about how we're going to use the projections that we just learned about to anchor the slots that we made to the edge. So if we change the size, the length of this block, they will follow along. Okay, so that is the main goal. We're also going to talk about a thing called symmetry, how we get the two slots to be even across the center line. So I want to modify this. So I pick this somewhere in pick the slot right there somewhere, and notice you get these lines over the top of the extrude. That's where we're at. So over here, if you did this in order, this is a bit of a bummer the way Fusion does this, but whatever. You know, if you did this in order, as in you made a sketch, then you extrude it, then you made a sketch and you extrude it, you could probably theorize that the sketch for those slots, that solid right there, is this sketch right there. So now I can double click on that and get back into it, okay? Now, the 5 millimeters that is here, we can go ahead and leave that. But what I want to do, I'm going to tip this to the side. I want to do the projection. Now, this is why I didn't show you projections right here immediately, because my plane, my sketch plane, is right on top of the face. So the word project, right, it kind of makes sense that it's sending it somewhere. The last video that I showed you, that made sense when I put the plane out here and you see it projecting. Well, now when I pick this edge, it's going to project it onto the plane that I'm on, which is really in the same place as that edge anyway, so you're not going to see anything very dramatic. The other point here, though, is even though this thing right here is planarly, you know, in the same area as the sketch that we're on, they are not pickable. They're not the same thing. I still have to project it forward. So I'll click on the background just to do this all nice and proper. I'll hit P for project. That brings up the project window, and I can pick that edge right there. Then I can come down here and I can pick that edge right there. And if I project them right now, they will be solid lines. Remember we talked about this? So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to turn on construction line before I project them. Okay? So two things are going to happen here. I'm going to make a projection, and as I project it forward, or as I make this projection, it's also going to turn it into a construction element for me, okay, a guideline. So watch, I hit OK, and you can barely, hardly tell. You can see there's some purple dots in the corners. If I hide the body, you can notice that there is that purple construction line, okay? And again, I cannot manipulate this. I can't move it because it's linked to the other feature, okay? Now, if I was slick and I knew this beforehand, I would have done it first, and then I would have made my rectangle like this. I would have went snap to it. Did you see that little X? That was a snap to a line. Uh-oh. See, by the way, I'm making a construction line because I forgot to deselect it. That's going to happen a lot to you. I'm going to go ahead and continue this, and then I'll just undo it. So I come down here. See that X right there? That's snapping to the line. I click that, and now that's, if you can tell, it's kind of dark right there. It's anchored. It's anchored to that line. See? That's pretty good. I'm going to hit Control Z, get rid of that. I'm going to click on the background, and I'm going to turn that off just in case. Now, rather than delete these things and do it again, just because, you know, I showed you that it's probably a good way to do that, I can do it after the fact. So you have these constraints up here that, well, they're geometrical type constraints. And so instead of being a dimension like a number, it's saying I want to make this point on that line, or I want to put this point on that point, or I want to make this line parallel with that line, etc., etc. Okay? So the thing I want to do is I want to make this line collinear with this line. So I pick it. You could do it anyway. You can do it in a myriad of different ways. I could pick this one here, then I could pick collinear, and then I could pick the other one, or I could pick this one here, control select it, and then I could hit collinear and it would do it, or I could hit collinear first and then pick the two of them. Okay, either way works. So did you notice that it went black? This one here looks, see, look at that. It looks like it's right on the edge, right? It's not. It's not black. So I still have collinear selected. The tool is in my hand, so to speak. So I pick this and I pick that edge. Now it's black. Now it's locked to it. As a habit, let's undo that. When it was right over the edge of it, like so, if you don't remember that it's supposed to turn black, grab the corner and wiggle it around, and you'll see, you know, that it's not anchored there. So we'll hit this, we'll hit that, we'll pick this, we'll pick that. get this one here and that one there. Now, they are, I undid too far. So I pick that one and that one. There we go. All black. Notice we're watching now. I'm watching, right, for that black line. So we're stuck there. However, we can still move it side to side. So we need to fix that, and that's going to be done with a dimension, D. So I pick this one right here. I pick that one right there. I bring this out, and did I make it 10? 10 seems kind of big. Let's go check. Let's go check the other one here. So I can go to this sketch right there, and the distance, yep, it's 10. So they're 10 apart. Now, it still didn't turn black though. Didn't turn black. We've got 10 here. We've got 5 and 5 here. We've got it locked vertically, if you want to call it that way. But you see, it still moves side to side. But the two of them move together. They're all locked together, but we're still moving side to side. So what I could do is I could dimension this line right here to the center point right there. You see that? And I could make it be 5, half of 10, right? But another way to do this that's a little bit more permanent. Permanent meaning, what if I made 10 be 15, and then that other one's still 5, and it's going to be offset. So you see how we're thinking, by the way? We're thinking in the future of if you modify this, we want things to follow along nicely. So I would like these two right here always to be even across a center line, you see? So I want to use this symmetry tool. And the way it works is I'm going to pick one thing, and pick another thing, and then a center line, and it's going to make it even across. However, I do not have a line yet, and this is a small irritation, I guess you'd say. Let's see here. Let's see what I can do with this. So I can pick this one here. I can pick this one here, and if I hover over and I hover over, you see what I'm doing here? I can't select these things. It doesn't let me. Other programs will let you pick them. See this red line right there? And the green line? Nope, can't pick them. Other ones would. So unfortunately, looking ahead of what you're doing here, and you go, I want to do symmetry. I want to make them even across there. I am going to make a line. So I hit L for line, which is this right here, which is this right here, which is the L for line right there. Okay. So I have the line tool in my hand. I want to draw a line from the center point. I want to snap right to that center point. Which center point? Well, the one that's on my sketch, not that one down there. It won't even let me pick it. I want this one on my sketch. That's the center of the sketch. If I go from the top view, everything lines up. Kind of makes sense, okay? However, if I click and I make a line, it's going to be that solid line, you see? So before I get started, I'll hit L for line, and I come over and I hit construction. Or if I'm really slick, let's undo this. I hit L for line, and then I hit X for construction, and that comes on automatically. Then I come up here, I pick, and I can make it really short, but that's hard to see. I don't need to make it right up here to that and snap to that line, but you could, because sometimes that makes good sense. Or I could also just run it way the heck up here. You see? Now, I ran it straight up, and it saw that it was perpendicular to this line right here, so it made it snap to a perpendicularity. Other times you do stuff like this, L, bring this up, as I tip this around, snap, it just snapped to something. See that right there? It's making a parallelism to something over here. You see that right there? So it says, that's parallel to that. The other thing that you would normally see if there wasn't anything here to stick to is you would see it snap up, and it would become this. That's a vertical or horizontal right here, constraint. So I hit L for line, and I bring it kind of like this. Okay, so it's kind of crooked, but it's mostly horizontal, not quite vertical. So it's horizontal and vertical. Depending upon which one is closer, it will snap it to it, you see? So this constraint happened automatically. This was me doing it manually, I guess. Okay, so I'll select that, which, by the way, that's how you do that. Delete everything there. Zoom in here, and now I have my line. Now I can go to symmetry, and I can pick, I usually pick a point. You could pick a line, that's fine too, but I pick this point, I pick this point right here, and then you pick the line. It doesn't tell you to do this, you just have to know that's how you're supposed to do it. And then boop, everything moves over. Because this is 5, this is 10, that is 5, this right here is snapped to the purple line, this down here is snapped to the purple line. With the addition of the symmetry, it all turns black because there's no more ways that this could possibly move. And so that's our goal. That's what we want to do with every single sketch we make. I would even say even the stuff you don't care about, because it's a good practice. It's a very good habit to build. So it's not so stressful when you have to do it. It's just already a habit. So I'll turn back on the body. Now we've already extruded it, right? So don't go extruding it again. We'll just finish the sketch. And there we go. Okay, so there's our extrude down here, and it's doing what it's supposed to. If I were to go back here now and I were to change this from 80 to 120, because we did the projection and we made it a construction and we stuck the rectangle to it, when I finish this sketch, this will get longer, and so will the trough, you see? So that is a real quick, fast, maybe not so quick, fast, but a reason why we do things like snapping things to projections and to edges so that it can accommodate future edits without you having to go back and manually edit all the dimensions of everything, right? Anytime I say something like this and it's a simple lab like this, multiply that times 100. Imagine it wasn't just one trough. Imagine it was 100 troughs and 100 different little things right here, and I made one change, and now I have to manually edit 100 different sketches. You see? So hopefully that makes sense. This is the end of this video. The next thing we're going to do is work on making the strip that goes inside here.